right, it's the intro time. You know what day it is. It is time for some sports talk. We're here at the campus of Long Beach City College, and I got a full house today here. You guys know me. My name is Ed, and this is Sports Talk, and I got my boy Jesus right here.
Yes, sir. Another day, another podcast.
And we want to welcome today's guest. First, he's a student here at LBCC in the radio TV program. He is the PA announcer. You may have seen him at the basketball games for both men and women. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Sean Quinn to the show.
What's up?
And we got our homie there at the end, who's going to be talking maybe for a little bit, or our producer
Yeah,
today.
he's back.
It's
He's
Eddie.
back?
Yeah, it's Eddie number 2, y'all.
Eddie number 2.
What's up?
He's the show's producer today.
What's up, fool?
We are going to have to have him back here.
He's our audio mixer for today.
We want to thank you guys for listening on Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio. Thank you. Go ahead and subscribe. Hashtag listen. We got a full show today. So, gentlemen, you guys ready to get into it?
Let's get it.
Sure.
All right, let's go into our top story then.
Let's do it.
So we got some news coming out of the NBA, out of the Toronto Raptors, and I believe Jesus, he has more about that.
The Toronto Raptors, the Miami Heat. About Jimmy Butler being out for the rest of the playoffs. I believe he injured his MCL, which is he's going to be out a couple of weeks, which is pretty big for the Miami Heat, who are currently in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, also we did mention also for the Pelicans, it looks like there's a big injury coming out of New Orleans. Zion Williamson, he's out for tomorrow's game against the Sacramento Kings with the elimination at stake right here.
Yeah, which is big. That game's pretty much whoever loses is eliminated from the playoffs.
For those of you that don't know, he was injured in Tuesday's win against the Lakers. We
They
talked
lost.
about
They lost.
Yes,
Yeah, they lost.
we had that special the other day. Post-game show mentioned that he did have an injury, but confirming
He
he's going to
confirmed,
be
yeah.
out. He's going to be out. So
So a lot of injuries coming into this postseason.
how big of a loss it is for having him?
It's pretty big, bro. He averaged 40 points during that game versus the Lakers, which is pretty unfortunate for the Pelican fans.
But the big story coming out of the NBA yesterday was out of the Toronto, Jonte Porter of the Toronto Raptors. He has been banned for life by the NBA, as it came out that he was caught in apparently illegal gambling, which is, I was like really like my jaw dropped when I heard about that one, dude.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's some hectic news we found out. He's the brothers of Michael Porter Jr., who plays for the Nuggets right now, who's a superstar for them. I believe he betted only $26,000, but there's no point. His whole life contract was $2 million, but I'm not sure what was he thinking. The gambling right now is pretty hectic in the social media world.
You know, when I read about this morning or yesterday, my first thought was Pete Rose, the great baseball player, get it on baseball. And how many times did it take for him to? Did he ever get into Cooperstown?
I believe so.
no,
Yeah.
How long it took for him? No, he never did.
Dude, he's been banned from getting into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
Hey, he's been
I
up
didn't
for.
even know that.
He's been eligible, but they just kept shooting him down.
He's been eligible, but he's missed it. So
Okay.
he's no longer eligible to receive a Hall of Fame ballot,
And
which is unfortunate because I mean, with him being the baseball player that he
Yeah, he
is,
was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He kind of set the standard for most pro sports leagues, for pretty much all of them, with the no gambling policies for everybody. Almost any major sport has a strict no gambling policy. That goes for players, family, coaching staff, managers, owners, the whole 9 yards. It doesn't happen a lot,
Mhm.
but when it does happen, it gets noticed. One of the bigger ones right now, you've got it in the NBA with what's his name?
Jonte Porter.
Jonte Porter.
Porter, yeah.
And then
And a few in the
From-
NFL season as well that's been going on.
Yeah,
these,
true.
these past couple of years.
for those that follow the Los Angeles Dodgers, you
Yes.
guys would know that that Shohei Ohtani, the $700 million man, is caught up right now in a scandal with his former interpreter Ipe Mizuhara,
Yeah.
where Ipe stole what they say, $16 million from Shohei.
Yeah.
He impersonated that was him. He was making like illegal transactions, I believe,
Yeah,
too, and he was
illegal
impersonating it was him. And the last thing I heard about him is that he's in federal custody right now. And
He
he's
is.
facing federal charges,
Mm-hmm.
not felony charges. I'm talking about like federal judges that can land you into federal prison. Like,
Yeah, from last time I heard, he was bugged, but he got released for bail, and that was like a week ago. But
Now-
he had an upcoming court.
yeah,
date.
he did.
Yeah.
So far, we haven't heard nothing, but
Yeah,
we'll pass it along once we hear something. I mean, there's a statement. We received a statement from the NBA about it, and I was shocked at the allegations or what he was being accused of. I'll read part of the statement. It says here, quote, the league's investigation found that prior to the Raptors' March 20 game, Porter disclosed confidential information about his own health status to an individual he knew to be an NBA bettor. Another individual with whom Porter associated and knew to be an NBA bettor subsequently placed an $80,000 parlay precision bet with an online sportsbook to win $1.1 million, wagering that Porter would underperform in that March 20th game. I mean, like, this goes beyond like just betting who's gonna win. This is basically saying, I ain't gonna play. Hush, hush. Place your bets. We might lose, or
Betting on himself.
he bet on himself.
Damn,
That was one allegation, and then the league says here that from January of this year to March, while traveling with the Raptors, or the Raptors 905, which is the Raptors G League team, Porter placed at least 13 bets on NBA games using an associate's online betting account. I mean, how low does that you have to go?
He threw away his career pretty much right there just because of gambling. Pretty crazy.
You make millions a year. Like, why in the hell are you betting on yourself? Number one. Number two, you're betting on your team. And number three, you're just like, you're trying to get another person rich, but at the same time, you're putting your own career at risk. I just don't understand that.
I've been telling you, we've been having problems like that with other leagues as well.
You better
Especially
learn
the
Chinese.
I mean,
in the
what?
football season.
Well, let me ask you.
We had
Let me-
Calvin
yeah.
Ridley banned for I believe a year or two
Mhm.
for gambling on himself.
Wasn't Josh Gordon in the NFL
Josh
too?
Gordon,
Yeah, I mean,
him as well.
I mean, let me ask you
Couple
guys
other
this. Let me ask you guys this. Betting, we know betting is betting, okay? Like, we can't control that, but how does betting get to a point in sports where, you just can't do that? Like, what is there a limit that needs to be put, or a cap, or some sort of policy? Like, he's banned for life.
Yeah, but I believe there's already a policy in the league for every player who's professional athlete who's out there. There's a policy for betting, but I guess he just got caught up.
I
I'm
mean,
not sure what
it's
the-
like Vegas.
What's your
You could-
opinion?
Yeah, let's
Sean?
hear what Sean has to say.
I want to hear your opinion.
like I mentioned, every professional sports league has their rules that says, no gambling, just no gambling whatsoever. And if you violate it, depending on the severity, you can face serious repercussions, and it can affect your career. And Porter is the perfect example of that. He has destroyed his career now as an up and coming star. He can't even play professional basketball anymore.
No, he can't.
Yeah, he can't at all.
Even, I mean, the only thing he can do is go play in another country, which
overseas,
most
yeah.
NBA players have. But I
Yeah.
mean, betting, I mean, you just gotta like.
But don't you think it affects the players as well? Because all around the arena, you see FanDuel, DraftKings.
What the hell?
I think that was.
Stuff like that,
I
man.
think
It's
that's
like-
something that happened when he got caught. I think that was the first thing he heard when he got a call from the NBA saying, "Hey, you're banned for life."
It's crazy.
Bad for life.
I mean, it's just. I mean, like I said, he can go to overseas and play. I think that's legal, but
That's most likely is gonna happen.
it's gonna have to. I mean, there's no way.
Well, like
he
I
can,
said, his brother's Michael Porter Jr., who's with the Nuggets, and they play
again,
the Lakers this Saturday.
And again, he better learn Chinese.
Dwight Howard was a
Shane
player.
Sharks, Shanghai Sharks.
Does this button work? Does it actually work? I want to see. Hold on.
No, but let's see. Let's
Oh, it came up on the screen. It's a It's a
You know,
it's a bleep button for
I know it's your first time in here, but you know you're playing with all the equipment, man.
Hey, no one has showed me around. Okay.
We've been gone for a month. What am I supposed to do?
Look, I had other obligations, and now I'm here. I
Oh, really?
told you I would be here, and I'm here. What you guys?
We had to pay you to get
We
him.
thought this man disappeared completely.
Yeah, we thought.
On
Yeah.
the grid the whole time.
Yeah, we thought you disappeared.
There's this whole dispute about the coaches and the players of Long Beach's football team.
No.
Long Beach's football team. No, let me tell you, Coach Brett Peabody is a mentor to all. I've spoke with him about it in the past. It doesn't matter. He told me he doesn't care. He cares about everybody's health and their physical, their being, not just his players, but everyone around him. And he told me, he's like, hey, I can help you. I'll help you. I'll push you along. I'll make it harder on you as time goes on, but I'll help you. So he told me last I spoke to him, he's like, if you want to start losing weight, here's what you can do. Why are you laughing? If you want to start losing weight, he said, here's what you can do. Start off slow. Jog a block, walk a block. And progressively just make it longer increments. But, Peabody he's a nice gentleman, and he's a God-loving gentleman as well. So
I mean, he's been here over 10 seasons, and I'm sure he's had a disappointing season this year with the Vikings.
I killed Eddie.
You killed him.
Oh God! Did I kill you? Wait, did I kill you?
Did he kill you? Did he kill you?
That was a good one, man.
Out somehow. I didn't want it.
All right. We don't need to get into that.
Bro took his glasses off.
Before we move on, we do have some updates right now. Right now, the Wild is tied with the Kraken, 1-1 each at the end of the second
The
period.
Kraken?
Yes, the Kraken.
It's the Seattle Kraken.
Kraken Auto Parts, whatever it's called.
What?
Auto park.
What? Bro, do you know nothing?
Obviously, you do.
Do you want me to talk about this then? I know how to pronounce
Yeah, you got
the
the
stuff.
NHL.
Well, in the meantime, we're gonna stay with the NHL for a little bit.
Yo.
We did find out earlier over the weekend, last week, the Arizona Coyotes have been approved to relocate. So now, starting next season, they're gonna start playing their games in Utah.
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City?
The owners of the Utah Jazz officially went to the NHL and said, hey, we know that the Coyotes have been struggling to keep themselves in a permanent home in the Phoenix area, so we're going to buy them and bring them out here to Salt Lake.
They used to be the Phoenix Coyotes, then became Arizona, and then now they're going to be the Utah Coyotes. Or are they going, they're changing their slogan, or they're still staying the
I
same?
think. Let me see.
Who's got a better chance at having more fans in New City?
Mm.
Them, or the so-called soon-to-be Sacramento Athletics, Las Vegas Athletics?
They're not even going to be the Sacramento A's. When they move to Sacramento next season, they're just going to be the A's. They're not even going to have a city associated with them.
They're just going to say A's.
They're not going to be the Oakland Athletics of Sacramento. They're not going to be the Sacramento Athletics. They are just going to simply be the Athletics, making it the, let's see, this will be the fourth, and then once they move to Vegas in 2028, you'll be at number 5, the fifth location that team has played. They were, when they first came into the MLB, they were the Kansas City Athletics before the days of the Kansas City Royals, and then they moved from Kansas City to Philadelphia before the Phillies, and then moved from Philadelphia to Oakland, and now they're moving from Oakland to Sacramento for a few years while their new ballpark gets built in Vegas at the site of the old Tropicana Hotel. And starting hopefully in 2028, they will have their brand new ballpark up and ready to go.
Yeah, I know that hotel got closed down over the weekend they had to close it down permanently, but that's where they're going to be, like you said. But I mean, how sad is it that Oakland is only going to have like one sport team left, which is the Golden State Warriors?
They're not even in Oakland though, dude. They're in
the San Francisco.
They're in the Bay Area. They were in Oakland. They did play at the Oracle Arena, which was right next to the Coliseum. But then when they built their new arena, and they're like, well, sorry, Oakland, we're gonna go somewhere else. So
pretty much Oakland's losing all their sports teams.
Oakland will. They will still have a professional baseball team.
Oh, yeah,
it's a men's league team that is still going to be playing in Oakland, but they just won't have any affiliation.
Oh, God.
I mean, it's just it's sad. I mean, we're going to stay with the Bay Area. I know we're kind of going in different places, but that's what we like to do. We like to talk about different sport events. As you know, the Golden State Warriors lost to the Sacramento Kings. Jesus and I were talking about it on the post-game show for the Lakers. I brought this question up, and I guess sports media has been bringing it up too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We've been seeing it.
This the end of the era in Golden State? With Steph Curry, Thompson, and and a lot.
Steph Curry ain't going nowhere.
We know he's going to be there, but
he's staying with Golden State.
Thompson, you wonder if Thompson's performance is going to lead him out the door because he's going to be a free agent. Because think about it. He didn't score in that whole game against Sacramento. He was held scoreless. And I just think that was a difference maker. It was all in Steph Curry's hands, and he did his best. He played good. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. And, this team dominated for 12 years. They won 4 championships. How can, I mentioned this to you the other night. Right. How can Golden State be satisfied, or how can they keep Steph Curry satisfied knowing that he's going to go into like a rebuilding period?
Well, after the disappointing loss of the Warriors, there's a lot of Klay Thompson backlash about him making 0 field goals, 0 free throws, 0 points, in which after Steph Curry mentioned that he wants to keep Thompson there. So, but I don't see it. I think it's rebuild time for the Warriors. Rebuild.
I mean, you think that he could stay?
He's staying for sure. Yeah, Curry's gonna stay there forever. He's gonna be loyal.
Yeah, Steph Curry ain't going nowhere. Yeah. He's the Mike Trout of the NBA, where he's gonna stay with one team his whole career.
But Curry did win championships and rings.
Stephen A. Smith of ESPN, he had kind of started stating that he said this yesterday. He said that there's changes coming for the Warriors. I mean, can he predict, like, based on what he said, like, can you tell that this is gonna go in a different direction?
Yeah, I could see it. For sure. Well, from my opinion, they're going into rebuild mode. There's a lot of opinions on the social media world, but me personally, it's rebuild time for the Warriors.
Even Coach Kerr, he was shocked. He said, quote, "It was tough to watch Klay Thompson struggle. It was hard for me to realize that he was held scoreless." I mean, look, LeBron James played bad in the fourth quarter. I think he went 0 for his first 6, but when crunch time came, he hit what counted. How surprised are you that Thompson couldn't do that?
I'm not very surprised because after he had a season-ending surgery a couple past years, back-to-back years, and I think that affected him. He wasn't the same this year for his full potential.
Well, let me ask you a question here. I'll ask you and Sean. Chris Paul. He said he's not going to retire, but he has an uncertain future. He doesn't know if he's going to stay in Golden State or is he going to go somewhere else. Or could be maybe, who knows, maybe a homecoming to the Hornets, or maybe he'll go back to the Clippers. Maybe is that possible?
I'll be honest. I never really followed the NBA all that much. The only guy that I really talked to is a Clippers fan, so anything Clippers related, he's like on top of because he has Bleacher Report, so he gets everything like Clippers related, so he knows that stuff. But yeah, so I mean, if you ask me anything else other than the NBA, I could probably answer it.
So let me ask you, Jesus, since over there doesn't know
about
it.
My man,
hey, I'm sorry, I'm uncultured. Okay, I don't really follow basketball.
I mean, speaking of when you mentioned Chris Paul and the Clippers, it made me reminisce of the good days of
The Lob City
Lob
days.
City.
Lob City. Which speaking
talked
of
about that.
which, Blake Griffin did
Oh, yeah.
announce his
He
retirement
retired. Yeah, we
2
talked
days
about
ago.
this the other night on the
Yeah, that
post
was
game show.
shocking news,
It was
bro.
shocking too.
Yeah,
Oh,
about
yeah,
Blake Griffin retiring.
Oh man, the memories.
The
of
memories,
Lob City, but it was unfortunate that he didn't get to win a ring.
Those two are responsible for turning that culture around and making that team very competitive because this team was
And DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre Jordan. This team used to be a joke in the early years until that squad got formed
Oh,
and it started attracting star players to come to the other LA team. As you can't remember the 1 year where the Lakers traded for CP3, but the NBA vetoed it
rejected
because they didn't want to get
Remember that.
these big franchises getting the stars, but yet the Miami Heat was able to bring the big three that
And
year.
the Warriors after.
And the
that.
Warriors after. So, I mean,
dude, like before we were Lob City, we were basically the Cleveland Browns of basketball at
Oh,
that
yeah.
time.
yeah.
We were.
It was horrible.
horrible.
But after getting CP3,
That
after
changed a lot.
drafting Blake Griffin, getting DeAndre Jordan, all these guys.
Hey, don't forget, you're still rocking with Kawhi, so.
And we start running
Oh, yeah,
he just
but-
gets injured way too often. That's a problem. But they really turned the Clippers around and actually.
You've
gave
also
hope
got
with
Luka.
But do you personally think Blake Griffin deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame?
You think he's got enough credentials?
I definitely say he goes to the Hall of Fame. And speaking with about Chris Paul, it would be inevitable for him to join back and reunite with the LA Clippers, but I just don't see it happening. Other than giving it for nostalgia reasons, or I mean, you could say the same about when Isaiah Thomas had his career, and he could have went back to the Boston Celtics when he was being a bench player for the Denver Nuggets, but decided to keep rolling with these different teams. And I could see Chris Paul trying his talents probably in South Beach or anywhere other over in the Eastern Conference. But again, it is inevitable, but I just don't see it happening.
Not sure it's my part.
Well, let me ask you this question, Eddie. He's 39 years old. Does he have anything left in the tank? If so,
Damn, Chris Paul
yes or no?
39?
He's
Wow.
39, yeah. I mean, it could be possible that he could have something to do, but a lot of people were to say, oh no, he's getting old, he's getting washed up. They could say the same thing about how when they made the big trade, when Detroit made the trade for Allen Iverson.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And how they basically, everyone was like, oh, they traded up for a washed Allen Iverson. It was just, and I could see an argument like that happening if he were to go.
Wasn't that before he went to the Denver Nuggets?
I think
He was a
that
Sixer, then he left, and then I think he went with Larry Brown, and then he went to Denver, and Denver was a squad with Carmelo and Kenyon Martin and Camby as well. I mean, you talk about that, but going back to CP3, what do you think? Does he still have enough in him?
I'd say if there are, I definitely say if there are any, if there's good repercussion and if there's no injuries going on with them, because it could happen. But I'd like to believe, I'm pretty biased because of the Clipper mentality, but I definitely hope to turn it out that he would have something like them saying. A part of me really believes so, but another part of me just says, "Oh man, just retire already. You're almost 40, dude."
Yeah, me personally, I think he's gonna have he should retire, but I think he's gonna go another year, I believe.
Another thing too.
It's been
You know what I just realized is he can't go back to the Clippers
that's the longest.
because remember when he was a Rocket,
They have beef.
they had beef.
Yeah.
That one incident where supposedly LAPD got called in.
Yeah.
And then I saw Shaq.
After the game, in the hallway.
and then
Yeah.
and it's funny thing. I was watching the NBA on TNT. Ernie, Chuck, Charles, and Shaq. They was just making a big joke
They're all
about it
making a
because
big-
LAPD got called in.
Yeah, that was a crazy moment.
Well, no, because Charles Barkley was like, police presence.
Yeah, there was a couple games before that as well that They had beef.
And that was the incident where supposedly they went into the back of the door to the other team's
to the other
locker.
door.
Like,
Okay, so we know he's
Yeah.
not going back.
no, I don't think he's not. No, it's funny.
The
Well,
Clipper
hey.
fan, he's not for sure.
But one,
I mean, you could say that about with wrestling. CM Punk, he had a big, major problem with the WWE, the company there, and
he didn't have a problem with WWE. He had a problem with Vince McMahon.
Everybody has a problem
Everybody
with
has a
Vince
problem with
McMahon. Look at Stone Cold Steve
Why
Austin.
do you think that Vince McMahon is? WWE is no longer the Vince McMahon era. We are in the Triple H era.
Yeah, the sucky era.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
Roman Reigns has been dethroned by Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is now the new face of WWE. Roman Reigns doesn't even have a return time.
Logan.
Like, they don't even know when he's coming back.
Look, I'm sorry, but it's just not the same wrestling as it was before. I mean, Triple H should know this. He was a wrestler back then. You know, he was part of that clique. Then he did the Degeneration X, where he did the suck it crotch. And I mean, how many times did you get in trouble in school for doing that at the lunch area? I mean,
If
I
you
got-
ain't down with that, we got two words for you. Suck it.
So anyways,
I mean, I will tell you right now, like, how many times did you get in trouble for doing that or giving the finger? You know, I got in trouble for giving the finger and using foul language, and just like how Sean is right now. It's, you know, hey Sean, hey Quinn, check it out, man. You're number one, bro. You're number one.
And you're number two.
And you're saying you're number 11.
Well, that too.
You're number 11. You're Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's number.
Oh, the crybaby?
We're gonna
Oh,
talk
no,
about
that's Kyle
soon.
Busch.
my point.
Let's go back to Eddie's point.
Let's go back
What's
to
your
Eddie.
point? What's your point?
So
Yeah, talk about it.
So as we say, as I was saying that, CM Punk, he's after saying big things like,
Keep your hands to yourself, by the way.
coming back to the WWE, and he ended
Yeah,
up
don't
coming back
slap.
even before. He's like, you're the one who put your shit in my face.
Okay.
I got a headache. All right. So, anyways,
That's
so
right.
yeah, so
That's
feel
right,
like,
buddy.
I feel like if Chris Paul is to get a decent or like a
Boys.
What? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Soundboard.
I if Chris Paul were to somehow get a really good contract from the Clippers, then I'd say it's definitely inevitable for him to still come back to the Clippers. But do we know if the Clippers are willing to give up so much just for a 39-year-old CP3?
Me
Are we
personally,
supposed to be hearing that there? that soundboard?
I hear. Me
Yeah, I got
personally,
the- I got
you think
the
we're gonna
actual
keep
drum
Paul
and-
George? I don't think we're keeping Paul George.
We're not gonna.
Paul George is actually going to be a free agent.
Yeah.
You know, but it's going to depend how far they go.
They go, yeah, that's a big.
We
Okay,
talked
so-
about this a couple weeks ago on a previous episode, or a couple episodes ago. They've never been a fully functioning team because they've never been on the court together long. It's
Mhm.
either one or the other,
And
you know,
the-
or both miss time. It's like I was saying a while back. How much do you have to pay a guy? How much investment do you have to give a guy momentum to play? I mean, like, do you want to pay a guy a couple millions and he's getting hurt, you know, in the time where you need him to make that run?
Okay, so you mentioned that, I'd say, you know, if the Clippers were to let go of one of their like big stars because of injuries and fallbacks and all of this, then I'd say that would be a big move to sign Chris Paul. But again, we don't know if a lot of people are very much like, is that a good idea? A 39-year-old Chris Paul back? Because they won't see it no other reason than nostalgic reasons from back in the day.
Yeah,
They wouldn't really see much as a big upgrade or anything like that from Kawhi Leonard or Paul George.
Yeah, I'm still shocked that we haven't given Paul George a extension. Meanwhile, Kawhi, we extended him midway or in the beginning of the season. Well, now that we're in the playoffs and we play on Sunday, there's still optimism about Kawhi's injury. He's back with knee inflammation, which was his same knee he got surgery on. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen during the playoffs.
It's going to be
If he's gonna be
tough.
available or not, they're still questionable.
Look, if they lose because he's not playing, chances are you have to make that difficult, painful choice of saying, you know what, you're a good player, you meant a lot to us, but at the same time, we need to invest in bigger talent, and unfortunately, you're just not cutting it.
Oh yeah, and this year's been the most games they've been played on the court together, Paul George and Kawhi. Every other year's been less than 60 games or less.
Yeah, it's difficult to counterattack that, but I mean, all we can do is just see how far they go, and let's talk about last night, guys. So we had one of the playing tournament games, Atlanta and Chicago. Chicago was leading as much as 15, but then Atlanta came back in the second half.
Maybe competitive.
I mean, how competitive it was the second half. How much of a run, how much did Chicago had to be concerned when Atlanta made that run?
I'm pretty sure they had it in their books. Most of their players contributed. Kobe White, I believe, scored 30 or 40 points. I'm not mistaken about that. And DeMar DeRozan's their superstar, doing what he does best, just scoring above 25 points.
Yeah, just see how aggressive they go.
Yeah,
nice
Kobe
layup.
White was going off that game.
He was, and
me personally, only seen the fourth quarter. I ain't kept up too much about that game. I'm pretty much hyped about Saturday and Sunday's game. So we got Lakers and Nuggets.
Look at that dunk.
So you're right. Kobe White, career high 42 points.
There you go.
In the 131-16 win over the Atlanta Hawks.
Scoring
another layup too. Look at that. He's just on fire. I've never seen Chicago get so crowded like that before since the Jordan years.
Yeah. And then coming up tomorrow, they're taking on. You got 2 games in the NBA tomorrow. You've got Chicago taking on Miami. That's at 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock Miami time. And then you've got Sacramento taking on New Orleans. That's at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. That's for the 8th seed in the West.
The winner gets the Celtics.
On Saturday, you've got the playoffs.
It starts.
Full day of games.
Playoffs are start. You got 4 games that are starting on Saturday. In the East and West first round matchups. First game going off 10 o'clock on Happy 420.
Happy 420. Okay.
First game going off at 10 o'clock is Orlando and Cleveland. Then at 12:30 you've got Phoenix and Minnesota.
That's going to be a good one.
3 o'clock Saturday you've got the Sixers and the Knicks. And then to round off the 4 first round games, it's the game of the week. The Los Angeles Lakers, the 47-35 Los Angeles Lakers, taking on the 57-25 Denver Nuggets.
The first round matchup, we mentioned this on the post game show on Tuesday night, is a rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals. It was swept by the Nuggets 4-0.
And it's up in Denver.
LeBron James actually was asked about the.
But if we talk about that game, here's who, according to ESPN, we've got the injury reports here. For the Lakers, they will be playing. They've got a few guys that are day-to-day with a hope to be back by Saturday.
Well, my main one, actually, I didn't mean to cut you out, though, but my main one is Anthony Davis, because he even mentioned in his press conference that he was dealing with back spasm, which really affected his play on Tuesday night. How much of a different factor, how much healthy does he need to be percentage-wise to perform the way he has over the last second half of the season?
Wrap it back to our conversation about betting. If we have any sports bettors out there listening, according to ESPN, they've got the line score Denver at 7.5 under, and the over/under in general for total points is 223.5 points in total for that very intense, what will be a very intense first rounder between the Lakers and Nuggets.
We gave our predictions on Tuesday night. You said it went in 6 or 7. I know I said 7, but wouldn't it be awesome if the Lakers can sweep the Nuggets just like the Nuggets swept them last year?
In 4?
4-0. I would love to see that.
We'll find out, won't we?
Maybe the one guy that punched his TV out when the Lakers lost, maybe he'll bet and maybe get a new TV. Seriously, who does that? Who punches their TV out?
Many people.
Niners fans did it in the Super Bowl.
Many.
I think the Cowboys fans did it this year, or
Like,
Cowboys made the playoffs, right?
Yeah, the Cowboys made the playoffs just to choke against the Green Bay Packers.
Pardon my French. They got the shit kicked out of them by the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. That was a great.
What was it like? Wasn't it like 70 something to like not even 20 for Dallas?
Nah, you're thinking of Miami and Denver, bro. That was a 70 to 20 something game.
Woo! Nah.
No, this one was like
blowout.
that was like in the 40s or
Nah,
Dallas scored. Green Bay scored in the 40s.
Hold up, I got it. Cowboys versus.
I personally think Nuggets are taking game 1 and reverse sweep Lakers.
Nah, I'm saying the Lakers gonna win all 4.
I personally think
wanna see
the
that.
Lakers are gonna win the series. If I was a bettor, I'll bet on
It was
Lakers winning.
48-32.
And if I was one of those crazy bettors, I probably would say Lakers sweep.
Whoa, yeah, that's a crazy.
I'm not afraid to say it. I'll say it. Lakers will sweep.
But then if we look at so we cover Saturday. If we look at Sunday, another set of 4. Kicking it off, Boston will start their first round. Their opponent has yet to be determined. Most likely will be determined tonight or tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
It'll depend tomorrow night. The two elimination games are tomorrow night, and I believe both will be on ESPN.
Yep.
And then, so at 10 o'clock, the Celtics are playing. 12:30, Dallas Mavericks versus the other LA team, the Los Angeles Clippers. Mavericks are 50-32. Clippers are 51-31. So that is also going to shape up to be a good one. What is it with? Here's what I'm noticing. If we talk about the NHL for a second, the NHL is also getting ready to go into the Stanley Cup.
Oh yeah, Stanley Cup.
The Kings have barely squeaked in.
That was shocking.
The Kings squeaked themselves in. They got the second wild card spot in the Pacific Division, and as it stands right now, it's most likely looking that they are going to have their first round games, the first 3 of the first round at home against the Dallas Stars. The Stars are number 1 in the Central.
Yeah.
And as it stands right now, it's looking like the Kings are going to be facing all Central teams in the Stanley Cup through the first 3 rounds until you get to the semifinals and all that for the Cup. But what is it with trophies going on right now that the Los Angeles teams are playing the Texas teams? You've got the Clippers and the Mavs,
Yeah.
and now you've got what's probably going to shape up to be the Stars and Kings for the Stanley Cup. I don't know. Will the Kings make it all the way? I highly doubt it.
No.
I don't think they can.
They'll make it a series, but I just don't see them.
Yeah.
If they can beat Dallas, cool. But then they probably look towards Vancouver.
Ooh.
Austin Matthews.
And currently, as it sits right now, Vancouver is losing to Winnipeg 2-1. Seattle and Minnesota are tied at 2. And San Jose and Calgary just started their game.
Yeah, they're underway.
And they are at 0s.
Oilers and Avalanche, they play tonight. Ducks and Golden Knights will play. I believe that's the Ducks' last game of the season.
So the 6 games that are going on in the NHL right now are the last 6 of the season.
And then we got the Blackhawks and the Kings tonight at Crypto. That's on 7:30. You can watch that on Valley Sports, I believe. And if you have
Valley Sports West and ESPN Plus. So, whoopee. I hate to. So, I don't typically associate for the NHL. I haven't associated with any team. I live in Long Beach. Anaheim is
your team?
Anaheim is closer of a drive.
That's my team, actually.
Anaheim is closer of a drive than LA. LA traffic, it can take you sometimes over an hour just to get from Long Beach to Crypto.
Unless you take the metro.
Nah.
Well, hey.
It takes 45 minutes.
But overall, though, for facility-wise, Crypto is a much larger arena than Honda Center.
Yeah.
Honda Center
has his sister.
I've had the
Staples Center.
I've had the privilege of watching games for both the Kings and the Ducks in in their luxury suites.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I've been to the suites in the Honda Center.
And I can say, without a doubt, 100%. Even though I've only seen one game from a suite for the Ducks, I can say 100% the Ducks have nicer suites because they have in-suite bathrooms.
I heard that. Hey,
The Honda Center has in-suite bathrooms. Crypto.com Arena, the suite levels have their own private bathrooms, but they are not in the suites.
No, they're outside.
They
Like
walk
the
out.
kids by. Hey, don't we know someone that works for the Ducks? Don't we have a professor here that's
We do. At Long Beach City College, we have the voice of the Ducks, Mr. Phil Hewlett. He, I was there for the last home game, fan appreciation night.
How was it?
It was, well, they lost to Calgary 6-3.
Did you get to see Phil?
Well, I looked up to where his booth is, and I kind of saw him, but not entirely. That game started off very slow for the Ducks. Calgary blanked them through the first two periods, and then
They made a game in the third period.
they tried to make it a game in the third period. They scored 3 goals in the span of about 5 minutes. That game specifically, the Ducks had brought in this kid, Sam Colangelo. So this was a Thursday night game, and Wednesday morning, Colangelo signed his 2-year entry-level contract with the Ducks, and then the very next night played in his first NHL game. The first of those 3 goals in the third period for the Ducks was scored by Sam Colangelo. So you can imagine the excitement for his family in attendance, for himself. He said it after the game. The way he scored it, he thought, and I was sitting on the side that the Ducks were shooting, so I was looking right at it. The shot came in, and everyone thought that the goalie had stopped it, but the puck had actually scooted behind him. And everybody on that side of the arena saw the puck was sitting behind the goalie, so Sam Colangelo slides in, puts his stick down, and just kicks the puck into the net, and everyone goes crazy. And Phil, let me see here. I have the way he.
I saw his ad last year when I went because he was able to help me get tickets, and I saw his ads. I think the one making fun of the Kings, it was like a beer drink, and it was just like, it's funny, he actually got me up on the jumbotron too.
Did they end up fighting when you were there?
No. There was a little bit of contact. I mean, they had like some.
Like fist fight.
I saw. You know what? Yeah, you know what? I saw some fist fights.
Here is the voice of the Ducks, Phil Hewlett, as he is announcing Sam Colangelo's first NHL goal.
That's good.
So Sam Colangelo gets the
How does he think?
gets his for he's oh god, how is it? The Ducks this year they had the youngest player rationale by age in the NHL.
Yeah, they've been rebuilding. They've been rebuilding since 2015.
Damn. So they haven't made the playoffs or not? Nothing.
I think
2017 was the last time they won the West.
Mm-hmm.
They have not made a successful run since then. A couple years back, their captain Ryan Getzlaf, he retired. This year, another vet, 11 years with Anaheim, Jakob Silfverberg from Sweden. He's retiring at the end of this year. So it's a wonder who. So the assistant captain for the Ducks this year unofficially was given to Cam Fowler. Everyone thought it was going to go to Mason McTavish.
Yeah,
but they gave it to Cam Fowler. So the question is, who's going to get the coveted letter C on their Ducks jersey next year?
That'd be interesting to find out, especially in the off season. And Phil is actually
he's close to
1,000 games, right?
Very close to getting 1,000 games. As he's been the Ducks PA guy for over 25 years now.
Yeah.
He's been there for most of the life of the Anaheim Ducks.
The Mighty Ducks of Anaheim.
He was there when they were the Mighty Ducks, when Disney still owned the team.
Yeah, I remember that.
So Disney's the one that hired him 25 years ago, and he's been the voice of the Ducks at Honda Center now for 25 years. And within the first couple weeks of the 2024-25 NHL season, he will hit game number 1,000 as Ducks PA announcer. Now, when I was his student, and you guys are in his class this year.
I was in his class last year.
What he said was he doesn't know how his future is looking. He knows that for sure he wants to get to game number 1,000, and he doesn't know if he's going to go through the entirety of the season next year, or when he hits game number 1,000, if he's going to just say, you know what, this is my 1,000th game as your PA announcer. I've had a wonderful time the past 26 years. Thank you so much. I'm gone.
You know,
I'm just putting it out here right now. Anaheim Ducks, if you listen to this somehow, I'm your guy. I was studying. I was studying with Phil. I can put my voice out there and give that goal call. I can do it.
Maybe I'll call you too. Maybe CBS needs you, but
CBS. CBS.
It's all TV.
Oh God.
Well, mentioning Phil, we do. I believe this is his last semester here at Long Beach City, right? I believe there's a word that he was gonna retire.
He is. At the end of this year, he is going to retire as the radio teacher.
Yeah, he's been in charge of the radio personnel here. Most of you know about the internet.
Technically, Bob Hirsch is the runner of everything. He's the one who hired Phil to come in and teach the radio class.
Yeah, and then many of you know about the radio internet stations, KLBC.org. He's actually been part of that and actually had it up and running.
Do you want to repronounce that, buddy?
KLBC, the new KLBC.
Dot what?
Shut up.
Just say. Why don't you just say KLBC.org? Why do you gotta say org?
Because it's the org is the ONG, man.
Look, okay, so we're broadcasting from the the other campus radio station, KCTY. And it also says kcty.org.
Oh, that's really nice. You want to tell them what else you want to give them our bank info to while you're at it?
Look, they have a disclaimer up here.
You are a serious burnout, dude. I would not ride you with me if I was trying to steal something off of someone. Like, oh, what are you putting in your pocket here? Look at it.
But,
it remind me never to bring it into a job, man.
But I can tell you this right now: if I'm ever involved in something like that, which God help me if I ever did, you're not going to find me trying to rough up anybody. Well, maybe. Only if I have to.
That's because he's been roughed up before.
No, I haven't.
He's been roughed up before. That's
genuinely, like, I was on the side just trying to listen to some audio. He just started saying, "What are you watching?" I was like, "Oh, I bet you."
Because I can hear it on the microphone.
I bet you was the kid in middle school using a laptop, trying to play a game on the low. Someone in front of you trying to play a game on the low. You're like, "Ooh, he's playing the game."
He may be
that.
He's the one that's a teacher.
No, you know what?
He's got a Nintendo.
Hey, they're also smoking in there.
Hey. You know what? Eddie, you may be the only one that realizes this because we're around the same age. The other two in here are older than us.
Hey, who you calling no homie?
Only by a few years. Okay? Our time growing up in school, there was a program on
He's
the.
not 21, is he?
I turned 21 next month, buddy.
Can we tune him out?
I think. Well, hey, I don't know. Maybe most of you guys, maybe the three of you. I know you'll remember it. Maybe you two will as well. But like, there used to be like the #1 game website that most elementary school kids and middle school kids, when they had access to a laptop, Cool Math Games. Am I wrong?
Are we still on?
No, I never heard of that. No, I never heard of that.
I have.
I knew this one. I knew this one.
No.
Man, I think
I knew this one.
Maybe in my middle school.
Yeah.
Maybe in my middle school years, you know.
Look,
Like 20 years ago.
hey,
probably.
look, 20 years ago.
30 years ago, homie. When you talking about 20 years
Y'all
ago.
ain't that old, buddy.
Appreciate the compliment.
Thank you.
Can we continue on, please? Let's keep going.
And look, age is just a number, but
Yes, sir.
Edward, you're showing your age.
Whoa! Shots fired.
You're missing some hair on the top of your head.
Jesus Christ, why didn't you tell him his bank card too, bro? Like, dang. You see what I mean by burnout? Now you guys see what I mean.
Yeah, he's so full of himself. He's actually turning red because he's laughing at his own joke.
Hey, my face is already red because I got sunburned a few days ago.
Nah.
Yeah, I felt.
Where the hell are you going? You see what I mean? Do you see? You see what I mean? I stand up. Where are you going? It is. You need to leave. Looking at.
You sound like that lady from that one news story about what that one guy said. I guess he said something offensive. He said something offensive, and the old lady goes, "You need to leave." You need to leave.
Oh, Captain, my Captain, I stand up for the people. I don't
He's left the building. Eddie has left the building.
I walked out.
So this has totally gone kerplutz from where we're supposed to. Where are we even going with this? What? Can we get back on track?
Yeah, the exit stage is right there if you want to get on track.
Hey, you invited me on this.
It's the final. It's the final now. Seattle beat. Looks like Seattle beat the Wild 4-3.
Damn, really?
Actually, it's 52 seconds left in the third. It's about to be final. Meanwhile, Canucks and Jets tied at 2.
The True North, strong and free.
Sharks and Flames 2-0. That's still in the first.
Well, hey,
2 more games going on tonight.
look, San Jose hasn't even
That's the only sport going on.
Look, Sam, wow. The San Jose Sharks have not been a very big NHL franchise the past few years. They haven't even cracked 20 wins, so they're going to sit at 19 wins on the season in last place. They're pretty much the Oakland. Well, actually, they're. I can't really call them the Oakland A's because the Oakland A's are doing good this year.
Yes.
Somehow. And you know who's in last place in the American League West? The freaking Astros.
Oh,
that's shocking. You know, they've always. That's
the Astros. The Astros have been the best in the West for the past 8 years.
Actually, more than that.
They have won. No, they have won. They have won the American League West the past 8 seasons. And this year, through the first couple weeks, they're sitting in last.
I'd love to hear that.
Hang on, what is it?
You know what? I realize now, like they dominated the division ever since they came over. Because they used to suck in the East.
They were the National League.
Yeah, they used to suck in the National League. Now they come over to the American League.
The Houston Astros, as of right now, they sit in last place with a record of 6 wins, 14 losses. They've won 3 of their last 10 and are currently on a 3-game losing streak.
You know that number reminded me a lot. 6 and 14. That was what was it? That was the Angels in 2002. They started off that year like that, and they went all the way to
the fact that you know that 22 years later, that you know the Angels started off 6 and 14 in 2002, the year that they won.
So when you started watching baseball, when Houston came over to the West.
No.
You were like, oh, I love the Astros now. They're coming to the West.
No, dude, everybody knows that the Astros are cheaters, and that's why they still continue to get booed to this day. I will never support the Astros. Their 2017 World Series title should have been stripped from them, but Rob Manfred did nothing. Rob Manfred should have suspended all of them, and they should not even be playing right now because they cheated and won the World Series. They cheated, and it was proven. The
dumpster schedule.
The Houston Trastros.
That was funny.
The Trastros with the trash cans. My God.
Yeah, I guess karma hit. Karma's good.
Karma or Carmen?
Karma.
Karma's a.
Karma or.
Karma's
oh, I thought you said Cartman. You know?
You guys.
Have you ever seen
the Houston Astros suck.
You ever seen
I would support the Colorado Rockies.
No, you know.
Who else?
You know when you talk about
Muscle Man.
You know when you talk about Cartman, the latest episode I saw the other night was when
Give me some Mexican food.
I saw the
Wasn't it like about the homeless people?
No. The last episode I saw Corbin was in a NASCAR episode. He was actually driving.
Oh my god! Wasn't he drinking glue?
No, he was drinking Viagra or something. No,
Not Viagra, Vagisil.
whatever the hell that's called. I don't know.
The sponsor on his car was Vagisil.
No, what was so funny about
driving a NASCAR.
no,
Fuck you, Danica.
no, my
Play it on YouTube.
my my favorite part of that episode was when the race started, and he's like NASCAR, yeah, and then like his crew chief was like, "This is just a pace lap. You don't go full speed yet. Go full speed." And when he like runs into Danica Patrick, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And he comes out, and he says, "F you, Danica Patrick."
she's like, what the are you doing?
And he's like, "F you, Danica Patrick."
Patrick.
What got me laughing the way he said the accent he said it.
He said it in that stereotypical Southern accent. He's like, "You Danica Patrick." He also had
the
that
accent.
Also,
Yeah,
that that retard. He was acting like a retard. Like I know. Okay, get mad at me all you want. I know retard is like a politically incorrect thing, but that's kind of that's what they made him sound
I
like.
wouldn't be saying that term, it would become something else. But the funny part too
Mentally
was
stupid.
I don't know about that one. The funny part about that one was he during the race he took a shortcut. He started running over all these people, and then before that he actually ran over and killed Danica Patrick. And then like Butters was like his spotter.
Butters was like a co-crew chief.
No, it was a spotter because he could tell him where to go. But it was funny at the time.
And then when he crashed, he's like, "Oh my."
The funny thing is that Danica Patrick,
Whatever happened to her?
she's retired.
Oh.
She does a podcast now. I think it's called Pretty Intense, I believe it's called.
Whatever happened to?
But it's funny.
Ability.
But what's funny about that was that she was asked about it. She didn't even know about the episode. Like she went off on what the reporter was telling her, but she did not know that she was going to be in that episode.
Well, they used the real NASCAR drivers' names, but had them driving all the wrong numbers.
Yeah, that's how Jeff Gordon
was driving the number 25. Danica Patrick was in the number 7, which was her old number.
Her nationwide number.
Her nationwide number.
Back then it was nationwide. Now it's
and also IndyCar. She was number 7 in IndyCar.
Yeah, she got her 1 in IndyCar.
Actually, no, she wasn't number 7 in. When she joined Ray Hall Letterman Racing, she started driving number 7. But before she drove number 7, I don't even know what it was. I don't even know.
Speaking of NASCAR, what do you think about Chase Elliott, man? He got his first win in 42 races.
42 race winless streak snapped for Chase Elliott last week at Texas Motor Speedway. The 2020 NASCAR Cup Series champion. When COVID hit and NASCAR came back, Chase Elliott proved he was the best in NASCAR that year. And then since then, Kyle Larson
almost won. He won that. He almost won that championship, but I think he got taken out by Ross Chastain in the 2021 race because Kyle Larson ended up winning that race.
Kyle Larson, he had like comeback of the year because if anybody's a NASCAR guy, when all the drivers were on like the simulators,
during COVID
and the online racing, Kyle Larson let out a racial slur.
I'm not gonna say it, but most of you know about it.
He let out a racial slur, and it was on a stream, and NASCAR fired him on the spot. They said, "We do not accept this kind of conduct." But then
I was shocked when he said it too, because
then good old Rick Hendrick was like, "You know what? It's the only time he's ever done this. Why should he not get to do what he loves to do? Let's give him another shot. Let's put him in the 5 car that hasn't been driven since Casey Kane."
Yeah, I remember Casey Kane. But I mean, look, during that time it was tense. We all know what's going on, and for him to say it, I mean, I can see NASCAR's point of view saying, that was kind of like out of line.
Considering what the time frame was.
Yeah, it was bad timing. I'm not saying that it's appropriate any time, but it was just a bad timing to make a issue that was very tense. He basically went out and made it worse. And he lost his job. He was actually with Chip Ganassi at the time he got fired. He was driving the 42 car.
He was driving the 42.
Then he lost his job.
He gets fired, and the rest of that season, the 42 car was filled in by
Matt Kenseth.
And
I was surprised that Matt Kenseth never got a full ride. After his last win.
Well, because he was at the point where he's like, you know what, I've had a good career, and he wanted to call it quits. So when he retired from driving the 20, he's like, okay, I'll just sit around. And then when Chip Ganassi gave him the call and said, hey, we want you to come fill in the 42 because we're coming back.
Yeah.
We're not going to have any fans, but we're coming back.
It's funny when you think of Matt Kenseth. A lot of people say he's the reason that NASCAR changed because, as you call, he was the last champion of the Winston Cup era. Then, because of the all the point system, that's why they went to this whole chase. And at the time, the Nextel came up. But I mean, do you agree?
Well, Nextel became Sprint.
But do you agree though that Matt Kenseth was the reason they changed the point system format? Because, I mean, back then it was more of like the best driver. Now with this playoff, it's like the luckiest driver.
It's still best driver wins. May the best man win. But before the whole point system and the playoffs and everything was implemented, it used to be, it always has been the last 10 races of the season has always been the chase for the championship.
Yeah, but before that, it was just you race a full 36 or 34 race schedule. Whoever had the highest point or led the points at the end of that season basically won the championship.
Whoever was the points leader was the champion.
Yeah, I mean, but Matt Kenseth in that season had only one win, and that was like the second or third race of the season. Then he had nothing but top 10s and top 5s.
What year was this?
2003.
Oh,
so this was the last year of the Winston era, because Winston was backing out of NASCAR. So they figured that they were going to lose the old Winston Cup series. Nextel was coming up, but
then Nextel came in and said, "Hey, we'll be your next sponsor."
So they felt like they needed to change it up. But how, would you be okay if it still stayed under the same old Winston point system? Should it stay like that, or are you okay with the way it is now?
The way NASCAR has it now, they have it's essentially 2 seasons. They've got the regular season and they've got the playoffs. They now start crowning a regular season champion at the end of the regular season.
At the end of the 26th race,
they crown a regular season champion. Oh, now I can hear myself much better. They crown a regular season champion based off of stage points. When they introduced the implementation of the stage racing, there was a lot of backlash because it's like everyone was used to just seeing these 300 or 400 lap races just go from start to finish.
I mean, you only throw the caution flag.
And if you have an accident or something, you throw the caution. Now most races have 3 stage breaks, or 2 stage breaks with 3 total stages, unless it's the Coke 600. Then they do 4 stage breaks. There are 4 stages. But yeah, it's like
I was actually surprised that they were able to turn the Coke 600 into like stage races.
4 100 lap runs, and now NASCAR is kind of starting with I don't know. They had this year it was the 3rd year of their 3-year deal with the Los Angeles Coliseum to do the Clash at the Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
So now NASCAR fans are starting to speculate, well, where's the Clash going to be in 2025? 2021, it was still at Daytona, and then California still hadn't opened back up for sports, so they skipped over the Fontana race in 2021 and instead added in the Daytona road course, which that was a cluster and a half.
How stupid! I'm just gonna be honest.
They put the frickin' NASCAR Cup cars on the Daytona road course that the Le Mans cars run. And that was interesting.
You know, I actually went to the Coliseum in 2022. That was pretty cool.
Well, that was the inaugural year, so.
Actually, no, the 2021, I think they did, right?
22, 23, 24. 3 years. 2022. Because 2021, the Clash was still in Daytona.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, I mean, the Clash at the Coliseum,
This year,
they turned a football stadium into a friggin' NASCAR track.
so short, too. And it's like not enough cars. Not enough cars. I think, 20 cars only?
They do
So many crashes.
They do 20
There
cars.
was. The thing, too, is it's a short race, but when there's caution flags out, that doesn't count. So they race.
The caution laps don't
They
count.
don't count. So it's like they go 75 laps, did an intermission.
Stage break with the intermission. The cars. The cars go onto pit road, which.
Well, you didn't have your coffee today?
There's no pit road at the Coliseum. They just pull it to the middle and park, and teams take a look at their cars, and then they do the little.
What about the?
You need some water, bro?
What about the Fontana Speedway that you're gonna take away?
It's already gone.
That's part of the.
So Fontana holds a place in my heart because I used to go there almost every year.
I went there once.
And, I was there last year for the last 2-mile race.
That was sad.
The plan that they have, honestly, it's kind of fitting that really the only vet driver that was still in the field racing, if you have Denny Hamlin and
Kyle Busch,
Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, they were all still racing, but it was kind of fitting for the King of California, Kyle Busch, to win the last 2-mile race with his new ride, the number 8 car for RCR, winning the last race at Fontana. And, for those that don't know, but for those that do follow NASCAR, looks like someone actually put a comment on there. I'm just now seeing that. What did they say?
That just says welcome.
Oh.
We're on there, so feel free to join.
God, I'm bad at this. I keep saying
So Kyle Busch.
Bad radio etiquette. Yeah. So the plan, as it sits, is that they've torn out the 2-mile track. That's gone. The asphalt's gone. Most of the grandstands are gone. The only thing they haven't taken out yet, they haven't taken out pit road. They haven't taken out the garages.
Yeah, it's supposed to turn to a short track, right?
Well, what they're trying to do is they're trying to turn it into another half-mile short track, because at first NASCAR fans wanted more road course races. So what happened? They turned Charlotte into a freaking road course.
Oh yeah, the Charlotte Roval.
They turned Charlotte into a road course.
You ever play the game NASCAR Heat?
Yes.
Okay, I tried to drive on the Roval, and it's really, really hard.
It's not easy.
I actually crashed going into that first turn.
As many drivers do in real life, going into that first chicane.
The funny thing too was, that Roval that goes from to the start finish line.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta go left and right, and then
you almost go down pit road, but you're not going down pit road. You're going right next to it.
I clipped somebody, and I got black flag for rough driving. Like I didn't mean to clip him. And then after the race, if you play NASCAR Heat, I'll tell you this: if you drive dirty,
which
in that game,
there's 3 of them.
I played 3, 4,
Actually, 4.
2. I played 2, 3, 4, and then 5.
There was no NASCAR. Was there a NASCAR?
Yeah, I believe so. But here's the thing: if you
I thought they went from Heat 4 to NASCAR Ignition.
I think it's Heat 5 or something. I could be wrong.
Why did they go from Heat to
the last Heat was Chase Elliott in the cover. Looks like we're getting a confirmation on that.
Well,
but let me tell you this:
I remember getting NASCAR Heat Evolution on the PS4, and it was
Heat 5.
It was Carl Edwards on the copy.
Heat 5 was the last one, and it was a Chase Elliott. But here's the thing: if you drive dirty, you get tweets from these drivers, and sometimes you get these audio tweet messages. They're accusing you of bad driving.
Oh my God!
You should be suspended for life.
I've seen that.
Suspended for the season.
I remember that. You can make rivals, and if drivers don't like the way you're driving, you'll get you'll get the post. It'll come up with post game, not real tweets, but they're not real tweets from the drivers. They're made up in the game. But the drivers will tweet you and say, hey, either great job,
Or you suck.
did good, or you suck.
No, but here's the thing. So I was in the Xfinity, and I guess whoever,
Xfinity.
yeah, the Xfinity.
Hey, but now the trucks are back to the Craftsman Truck Series.
Yeah, I heard about that. No, but here's the thing.
Craftsman came back to NASCAR.
I got a video message from one of the ladies in the Xfinity series.
Who was it?
I can't remember her name, but she sent me a message after.
Was it Haley Deegan?
No. She was in the. I think at the time she was in the dirt race ones. But somebody messaged me and she said, hey, you're making a lot of enemies out there. Like, you need to like kind of cool it down with the rough driving.
Can't blame them.
And not just that. In the tweets is one thing. Also in the race, they can actually intentionally knock you out. I've had that a few times.
If they become your rival, they want nothing else to do but to take you out of the race.
Especially when they tweet it.
They will wreck you.
That game you gotta drive like.
No, you can't. No, I mean you can. You can.
System.
You can. It's a system. It's
It's
a
on Xbox,
Xbox,
and PlayStation.
PlayStation, and
But
Nintendo
you use a
Switch.
real life stereo.
If you want to.
Okay.
If
You
you want
can.
to.
You can get one of those.
Yeah.
You turned your mic off.
I was adjusting it, you idiot.
Hey. Another example of being a burnout.
You stop calling me a burnout. You're sitting over here barely talking.
You know what? We're gonna we should probably do a segment like they do in the Best Damn Sports Show period. So the things you want to say to Sean Quinn and just come up with the funniest stuff, man.
Oh yeah, what? Send stuff into the show for me to look at.
No, we'll read stuff about you. The nicest things you don't say.
Eh.
But it's not the nicest things, the meanest things.
Oh, we love you too,
Yeah.
Sean.
Top 10 finish at Texas. Chase Elliott, led 39 laps. Brad Keselowski, his best finish of the season so far. William Byram, he finished third. Tyler Reddick, he led 37 laps. Reddick. Get your nose out of that mic, folks. Daniel Suarez comes in fifth.
Let's go.
Chase Briscoe sixth.
Suarez, the only Mexican driver.
Bubba Wallace.
Daniel Suarez.
Bubba Wallace, seventh. Austin Dillon comes in eighth. His best finish of the season so far. Kyle Busch comes in ninth, and then Carson Hocevar in 77 comes in 10. And then the most disappointing performance was Ross Chastain. Got spun out on the final lap. Finishes 32nd. He led 33 laps, but also another disappointing driver, Kyle Larson, finished 21st. He led a race high 77 laps. So I mean,
that's surprising to see it. He crashed, Chastain.
he had Kyle Larson.
Mr. Watermelon?
Yeah, Mr. Watermelon. But
Smashes a watermelon after every
how disappointing was it for Kyle Larson though? He led the most laps in that race. For him to just have a bad finish like that, 21st place.
Hey, look at what happened to Denny Hamlin. He was just driving and he spun himself out. Oh, Denny.
That tells you.
Old Denny.
Going into the season, though,
He beat your favorite driver again.
that's not my favorite driver.
when he talks about that, he references Kyle Busch, by the way. He's talking about Kyle Busch.
Yeah, and those guys used to be like close buddies at Joe Gibbs, and now they're like enemies.
Well, duh.
Yeah, you fool.
Because when you go to a rival company, of course they're not going to like you anymore.
Yeah, that means if you go to another radio,
Which is why nobody's driving to number 18 for JGR right now.
that's why when you go to another radio company, I'm going to hate your ass.
I'm not going to another radio company. I'm going to stay right here. Why do I sound like Tommy Chong and Cheech Marin? No, not Cheech Marin.
Cheech Marin has the higher
Cheech talks like this.
Cheech has the higher voice. Tommy Chong talks down here like this. Like with that stoner voice.
He's like, oh, am I driving okay?
Yeah.
I think we're parked, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, fool.
Hey. Crip walk, Snoop Dogg.
Hey. Moving on. Point standings right now as they stand. Kyle Larson leads by 17 points over Martin Truex Jr. Denny Hamlin, Sean Quinn's favorite homie. He's sitting on top of third.
No. Let me stop you right there.
No. This is my show, man.
Let me stop you right there.
This is my show.
I am not a Denny Hamlin fan, okay? I'm not a Denny Hamlin fan. You broke the board. You you just broke the audio switcher, you dumbass.
Shut up.
Shut up! You're burning me out already, dude.
Am I though?
I think this is the last time I bring you in on here.
Jesus, man.
Hey, I was
Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted,
Okay, you
Chase
called me a Teddy
Elliott.
Hamlin fan.
Chase Elliott with that win put him up 4th. William Byron, the 24, is on 5th. Ty Gibbs, Ryan Blaney, Reddick, Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, top 10. Chastain, Briscoe, Chris Buescher, Bowen, and the tie for 16, Kyle Busch and Joey Logano. Remember, drivers with the wins get into the playoffs.
Yeah, so Mr. William Byron at 3 wins already this season. He won the Daytona 500, the most coveted race of the year. The Daytona
Actually,
500.
no, I think the best one was Martinsville.
Oh shit! I almost ate that shit, bro.
Yeah,
I was trying to hit him. I'm sorry.
What is it?
It's just the band.
So, I mean,
But
how about winning Byron is like one of the best drivers of Hendrick? I mean, he won the big races, like you say. He won.
I mean, he's taken over in the 24, and everybody knows Jeff Gordon. He drove the 24, and the 24 was always 93 wins in his cup career, and driving that number 24.
He drove it for over 20 years.
that same car.
That same car. He never
Jeff
changed.
Gordon was driving the number 24 before Dale Earnhardt died. His first win was the last race, well, what was at the time the last race at North Wilkesboro.
Mhm.
But then last year, NASCAR was like, hey, guess what? We're going to go back to North Wilkesboro and host the All-Star race there.
Are they
So-
hosting it there again this year?
I
think they're
I
moving
think
it.
so. No, they're taking it back to North Wilkesboro this year, and they're doing more renovations on the track. And while they were renovating the grandstands, they found this cave underneath the grandstands, and people speculated that it's possible that this cave that was found underneath the grandstands in North Wilkesboro could have been an old moonshiner's cave.
That's shocking.
I'm not
It's
surprised.
North Carolina,
Yeah, I'm
and
not
that speedway is
surprised.
over 100 years old.
Yeah.
North Wilkesboro, North Carolina.
What type of car does he drive? Toyota, Camaro?
Who?
That guy who...
He drives a Chevy.
William. Yeah.
William Byron? He drives Jeff Gordon's car, the 24, the
Chevy?
Chevy, yeah.
Damn, Chevys.
Hendrick Motorsports has always used Chevys. Yes, they've always used Chevys. In the past, before they started using the Camaros, they drove
Monte
Monte
Carlo.
Carlo.
They
Chevy
had
Monte
one
Carlo.
before. I think it was called like a Lumina or something like that.
That's the one that Dale Earnhardt drove.
Yeah, so Lumina, then they went to Monte Carlo, then they went to Monte Carlo SS, and then the car of tomorrow, the Impalas.
The Chevy Impala, and then the next gen car in 2013, the Gen 6. That's when they started using the Camaros.
Mm-hmm.
And now, if you look now they've got the Gen 7s, which honestly, they look kind of dumb.
Yeah,
The
it
Gen
is.
7 cars with the freaking vented hood flaps. I don't know about them. They look cool they look cool in person, but like, I don't know.
I mean, it looks cool outside,
And
but I
then
mean,
the single lug nut wheels, like freaking IndyCar and F1 now, the single lug nut tires instead of the 5. I actually have a couple old school lug nuts somewhere in my collection that I got at one of the Fontana races one year. So
you mentioned the All-Star race is coming up too, May 19th, the NASCAR All-Star. And then also before that,
it's at North Wilkesboro, right?
they're going to hit Talladega next.
That's
Your favorite speedway, right?
That's coming up this
This
weekend,
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday afternoon. In contrast with IndyCar Round 2, the Grand Prix of Long Beach.
That's right. The IndyCar series is coming back to the city of Long Beach this weekend. Events are scheduled for Friday, Saturday, and the big race on Sunday. You can catch that race.
But if you hate IndyCar and you like the Le Mans cars, they race on Saturday. They used to do their WeatherTech Sports Car Challenge after the Grand Prix on Sunday, but now they've moved it to Saturday. And also the trophy trucks that jump the ramps, they have one race on Saturday, one race on Sunday.
And today.
Robbie Gordon.
Robbie Gordon.
Mr. Robbie Gordon. And his son. His son's in there, too. His son's only 13 years old driving one of those trucks. Can you believe that?
Green? Robert Green's son?
Robbie Gordon.
Oh, Gordon.
No relation to Jeff Gordon, by the way.
Robert
Totally different.
Gordon.
Are we making you tired?
He's always tired.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Oh, it's 7.
Nobody's watching anyway.
What
Nobody's listening anyway. So.
Class might have ended. I don't know.
Technically, we go until 9:30.
I think so.
Technically, this class is a 5-hour class. We have like 2 hours of lecture, and then the rest is all lab.
Okay, we get it, Quinn. You gotta say it. So anyway, IndyCar coming to Long Beach, and I'm kind of looking forward to this one.
I haven't been to the Grand Prix since, God, the last year I was there, I think was 2015.
It'll be Sunday, 21st at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch it on USA or Peacock, IndyCar Racing Live, or Sirius XM. Tickets are still available for the IndyCar Series. It's not funny, dude. But we're looking forward to this one. Actually, also, we're happy to announce that Long Beach City College will be at the Grand Prix this Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to be doing interviews with anyone that wants to come on camera. If you're in the area, you come check us out. We will be at the Long Beach Convention Center this Saturday.
What's the number?
1247.
1247.
1247.
We'll be out there from 10 o'clock in the morning.
Spotify, iHeartRadio.
10 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow and Saturday.
Special guests all around, all day.
We're trying our hardest to be able to interview some of the drivers and some of the crew members.
Yeah, we would like to get them. If you're an IndyCar driver, come see us. We want to interview you, and just get to know the drivers.
Hey, Mario, can you come talk to us, buddy? Come talk to us at Long Beach City College. Mario Andretti, one of the best IndyCar drivers ever.
Is he racing tomorrow?
He's a legend.
Mario is retired. The only thing he does nowadays, he drives the.
What's his name? Mario
Andretti. God, how do you not know who Mario Andretti is?
Andretti. Okay.
He's raced in Formula One, NASCAR, IndyCar, you name it. He's done it all.
Oh, yeah,
he's done it all.
Damn.
I don't know who he is either.
You are uncultured.
Oh, I'm sorry. The non-NBA guy wants to talk to someone about the non-NASCAR guy. Like, that's fair.
Okay, buddy.
Oh, Mark Andretti.
On the little somber notes, I hate to take it this way, but on a somber note, a couple days ago, ESPN sadly reported that former Albany University defensive lineman A.J. Simon, who was hoping to have his name in the NFL draft this year, sadly passed away at the age of 25 on Tuesday afternoon. Unknown what the cause of his death was, but yeah. So
vaccination.
Also, two-time Stanley Cup winner Jeff Carter has announced that he will be retiring after 19 seasons and 442 career goals over the span of 19 years with 4 different NHL teams. So, yeah. Little sports update there.
We also have the draft coming up next week, and
We're 1 week away from week from today.
Yeah, 1 week from
I mean, we might be watching it.
The Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams for maybe our show next week just needs to be devoted strictly to the draft.
Yeah, that's the one that I show the most.
The Los Angeles Rams for the first time since their return to LA in 2016, when they drafted Jared Goff in the first round,
and they got the most picks.
This will be the first year since 2016, 8 years later, that the Rams will have a first round pick. They have pick number 19 in the first round. Who will they go with? I don't know. Their first pick last year was Stetson Bennett, the winning quarterback from Georgia.
God, bro.
I'm not going to say that the Rams are going to draft J.J. McCarthy because I'm pretty sure Jim Harbaugh wants the Chargers to go after J.J. and keep him with his coach that he just won the national championship with. So, just saying.
Well, I mean, you look at the quarterback position; they're pretty much okay right now. Stafford is there.
The Rams they've got Matthew Stafford.
Jimmy Garoppolo as their backup.
You don't know how much longer Matthew Stafford's going to be around.
No.
I mean, he's already been in the league for 14 years now, I think.
Yeah, as long as
He's got he won the Super Bowl with the Rams in 2021, and he's dealt with a myriad of things over his career. Last year, he was on the list for Comeback Player of the Year, taking the Rams back to the playoffs, and unfortunately losing in the first round to the Detroit Lions.
McVay should have won the coach of the comeback coach of the year.
Yeah, that was
they ended up giving it to Houston, I believe, the
yeah.
Texans coach, because he let the Texans.
Let's just talk about how the NFL gave out their awards this year. At Offensive Rookie of the Year, they gave that to C.J. Stroud.
Should have been
It should have been Puka Nacua.
Should have been
The season that he had with the Rams as a rookie, the records that he broke as a rookie running back, there is no way in hell that he should not have won that award. But instead, the NFL Awards Committee gave it to C.J. Stroud of the Houston Texans.
Yeah, which I agree.
And then
you go back.
No, wait. These last 10 years, I think majority of the MVPs are quarterbacks. I think who was the
MVP this year? Who did they name MVP this year?
I believe they gave it to Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens.
Yes, that's right. They gave MVP to Lamar Jackson. They gave Comeback Player of the Year to Joe Flacco.
Well, I mean, he deserved it because, I mean, this guy was signed off the streets, and you lead the team, your ex-team to the Browns because, remember, he's the only quarterback in history to play for both the new Browns and the old Browns.
The dog pound, man.
Yeah, he brought him back.
The dog pound.
He brought him back, and I was surprised they didn't keep him. He ended up signing with the Colts.
What the hell? What am I sitting on? Am I sitting on the cord?
Nope. Nah.
No, it's down here. But why is this getting... OMG.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty excited for what the Rams are going to do in the draft. I see some good.
Yeah,
How many picks do we have this year?
I think it's more than 6.
6 picks.
More than 6 for sure.
Scooch over for a second.
But I mean, I'll tell you right now, they've done a good job pretty much in free agency.
Yeah, I like it. I like what we're doing.
They've done well in free agency.
I can
Especially since Donald
figure that out right now.
Well,
Well, Aaron Donald didn't leave.
around
Aaron Donald didn't leave. He retired,
yeah.
which rightfully so. I mean, he's only played 10 years, but he's had a career. Aaron Donald has had a
One of the best.
shoe-in Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, I don't know who the hell is.
Just like that.
He is a Hall of Famer. I mean, there's no
Yeah,
doubt
he
about
is.
it.
Okay,
He did whatever he had to do.
If you had to get double team on every play, you're sure as hell good. You're a hell of a player.
All right, so the official selection order of the Rams, they've got the 19th pick in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
They got the 52nd pick in round 2.
Mm-hmm.
Round 3, they've got picks 83 and 98.
Keep it coming.
Round 5, picks 153 and 154,
Yes, sir.
back-to-back picks in round 5, excuse me. 4 sixth-round picks,
Mm-hmm.
195, 209, 213, and 217. And very close to having Mr. Irrelevant, but the Rams do not get the Mr. Irrelevant pick this year.
They do not.
But you know who did get the Mr. Irrelevant pick, and look where he's at now? The only, he's my rival, and I don't even know his name. The guy from San Francisco.
Brock Purdy?
Thank you.
Oh,
Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, drafted number 262 in the 7th round, and look where he's been. He's led the 49ers to the postseason in every single year since he was drafted. He took them to the Super Bowl this year and lost to the Kansas City Chiefs.
How much of a heartbreaker was that?
They're not the Kansas City Chiefs. They are the Taylor Swift Chiefs.
Well, you got me there.
They are the Taylor Swift Chiefs.
no.
And you know what? They're going to fall off the face of the earth as soon as she breaks up with Travis Kelce.
You know, speaking of Kelce, you know his brother Jason Kelce, who won a Super Bowl with the Eagles? Apparently he lost his ring and he was on vacation.
What?
He did. He lost his ring.
Yeah.
He lost his Super Bowl ring. He did. Jason Kelce lost his Super Bowl ring.
It's a Kelsey thing.
And those things are irreplaceable too.
Yeah.
Imagine if Travis Kelce loses his wedding ring. If he has one yet.
Soon.
Look, okay, so everybody thought that if the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, that Kelce was going to propose to Taylor
I thought that.
on the field during the celebration. Everyone was thinking, oh my God, they win, he's proposing to her on the field. It didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Which is.
But with the power of AI, some people have already gone through and created an AI version
AI is scary, man.
of what Taylor Swift's breakup song about Travis Kelce.
They should play that football video.
And I think the first line of that of the AI generated song, something like "You stole my heart, you intercepted it." Yeah, something like that. Even though Travis Kelce wouldn't be one to intercept a pass because he's an offensive player, not a defensive player. So he wouldn't be able to intercept a pass.
You know, we talked about this before. Like, is there a way that we're gonna see our first three-peat, like 3 straight Super Bowls?
They could. The Kansas City Chiefs could be the first team to go back to back to back, winning the Super Bowl 3 times in a row. They have not done. Excuse me. They have not done it. There's been, I think, 3 other teams that have done it back to back. Pittsburgh being one of them.
Patriots,
New England, Kansas City,
Denver,
and the Broncos.
Mm.
Those are the 4 teams that have won back to back. Kansas City, if they make it to the Super Bowl for 2024, if they make the 2024 Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, February 5th, I think it is. February 5th, 2025, Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. The Kansas City Chiefs could become the first ever NFL team to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls.
I mean, the last team to win like 3 straight championship rings was
The Patriots,
the Lakers.
Oh,
the Lakers did
sports
3-peat.
on
That
there.
was the only time you saw a 3-year.
Excuse me, are you forgetting about the New York Yankees?
That's not consecutive.
No, yeah.
They
that's way
did. Yes,
before.
they did. The Yankees did go 3 in a row.
Look at me.
98, 99, and 2000. It was a 3-peat.
Didn't they lose to like the Mets or the Diamondbacks that one year?
2001, they lost to the Diamondbacks. But the Yankees do have a 3-peat under their belt.
Yeah, too bad no one ever brings it up.
Oh, breaking news. The Detroit Lions have unveiled brand new uniforms that they will be wearing for the 2024 season.
Yeah, so did the Cleveland Browns. They unveiled.
And the Texans.
Yeah, the Browns unveiled their new helmet
The
colors.
Texans.
So did the
Lions.
Texans.
Texans was nice.
This coming from Eric Woodyard, from Detroit. Inside the war room during the NFL draft in 2021, new Detroit Lions coach Dan Campbell asked team president Rod Wood when the black uniforms would return. Rod Wood's response: when you win the division.
Which they did.
Fresh off their first division title in 3 decades, the Lions will be back in black this season as an alternate uniform. After falling 1 game shy of making their first Super Bowl appearance, the Lions will tap into their past with the infamous black, now making their return. The Lions officially unveiled the new look during an exclusive event for season ticket holders on Thursday at Ford Field in Detroit. It's a new attitude, it's a new style, and it's our style, Dan Campbell said. So with that, the jerseys come out with it. In 1948, Detroit introduced a new black uniform, then brought it back in 2005 as an alternate.
Smash.
Featuring Honolulu blue numbers with silver and white trim, but shied away from the on-field look completely after 2007. The new black jerseys can be paired with either black pants or the team's blue pants, while the blue numbers feature a silver outline with lions across the chest. The alternate matte blue helmets will now feature a black leaping lions logo trimmed in silver. So it seems, these new threads for 2024 for the Detroit Lions. They've got the home blues. They've got the alternate whites, and now they are bringing back the alternate blacks.
What kind of uniform would you want to see again, like retrospect? I mean, I would love to see the
Rush.
no.
If I
would
could see the Rams bring back the all yellow uniforms that they were,
the ketchup, the mustard.
the mustard yellow uniforms that the Rams wore the night that they beat the Chiefs on Monday Night Football.
I remember that game. That was the best game.
50. I think it was. Wasn't it 52-51?
Something.
Yeah.
It was the highest scoring Monday Night Football game in history.
That was insane.
And I was watching the game that night, and I, as a Rams fan, I was sitting on the edge of my seat thinking, "Oh my God, this game is not going to end." But then Jared Goff and the Rams pulled it off, and we're like, "We're down, but we're not out." And boom, they made that game theirs. Which was, I think it was 2019, the year that they went to the Super Bowl.
They made it. They went all the way.
Or it was during the 2018 season.
It was the 18 season.
It was the 2018 season, which is the season that they made it to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, and they lost to Tom Brady and the Patriots.
3 points
in Atlanta by 3 points.
No, they scored 3 points.
2 field goals, huh?
No, 3 points. It was 13-3.
Well, the Rams.
It was 13-3.
Honestly, the Rams should have won that Super Bowl. There's a lot of there's a lot of controversy surrounding how that Super Bowl played out.
Yeah, it was.
Tom Brady,
But everyone says that the referees the referees cheated the game and wanted Tom Brady to win. I mean, the man said he wasn't going to retire until he had a Super Bowl ring on all 10 fingers.
How many quarterbacks beat him from?
The man wanted to win 10 the man wanted to win 10 Super Bowls to have a ring on all 10 fingers. Can you imagine?
Okay.
I mean, he's got 7, so he wasn't that far off. 6 with New England and 1 with Tampa.
And he's returning one more year.
No, he's not.
There's a word out. There's a rumor, and he said on the podcast he was going to say about it.
He's still working out.
He's not. He's not coming back.
Isn't he divorced?
Yeah.
Giselle Bundy divorced him because he returned.
Yeah.
His wife left him after he said he was going to return.
He chose football over his wife.
He chose football over family. And
family.
Yeah, it did cost him because he lost in the wild card game to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
You mean the Cowgirls?
That was his last game, too. It was funny.
So it all fell apart.
Well, he didn't have a good team that year. He
had
a lot of teammates had a lot of teammates that were old. Speaking past their prime.
Speaking of throwback uniforms, after Tom Brady left, the Buccaneers brought in. They had one guy, and now they brought in Baker Mayfield. And last year, they brought back the creamsicle orange.
Oh yeah,
what you think about those?
The Orange Clan Bucks.
They brought back the creamsicle orange uniforms as a throwback uniform. Those things are ugly.
I don't know. You remember the year 2009? That was like the 50th anniversary of the AFL. There were teams that were wearing like classic jerseys from the 60s. I remember the Patriots. They had the logo. They had the guy hiking the football. The Patriot.
That's the old school logo that they used to have on the white helmets.
Yeah, and then what about? Which
I think they brought back last year, right, as a throwback.
They did, but what about there was the Jets, the New York Titans. They, it was just like all dark.
Well, they're not the only team that has done that as a throwback to their former team.
Remember the
Houston Texans last year before they were the Houston Texans.
They were the Oilers.
They were the Houston Oilers, and then the Oilers moved. The Oilers moved out, and then Houston regained a football team in the Texans, and they created throwback uniforms this year, or last year I should say, that was a throwback to the days of the Houston Oilers.
Yeah.
White with the oil derrick, almost looking very similar to that of the Edmonton Oilers in the NHL. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember the Houston Oilers. That was that was very sad. And then it was the year 94. 93, 94 was one of those years they had a good squad and they had the best record. They won the Central, but they lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs. And then I think Bud Adams was the owner of the team that time. He completely decimated that team, and that was the reason why Houston took off for Tennessee, because after that season, fans just stopped coming to to Oiler games.
And also throwback jerseys. The Eagles brought back the Kelly green, the mean green.
Those look pretty cool.
The bright neon Kelly green jerseys. I'll be honest, they look kind of cool.
How about the Steelers, the prison looking jerseys? They had one that
yellow
looked
and black.
The one that looked like prison
The striped
jerseys,
ones?
and then they had one that looked like honeybee, bumblebees.
Those are called the bumblebee jerseys.
Look like prison jerseys to me.
I still like them.
I mean, like, hey, are you a football player or did you escape from prison?
What? It could be the jersey of the longest yard.
The youngest yard.
I'll just be like, yeah, where'd you serve time at? Yeah, I served time at San Quentin.
out there.
You ever heard of a Gridiron Gang?
Oh,
Yeah, I saw that one.
was up there too.
All right, let's.
We got some scores right
We
now.
got some breaking news from yesterday.
Oh, hold on.
One at a time.
I was just about to bring up the NHL
I was
scores.
going to bring up Bill
Go ahead.
Bill Belichick.
What you gonna say about Belichick?
Oh, well, Bill Belichick has some interesting coaching teams that he on the radar for, which is the Cowboys, Eagles, and the Giants. Who should they grab?
I would say the Giants because he was there.
The
He
Giants.
was there with Bill Parcells and he won like 2 Super Bowls.
Okay,
The
I can
Giants,
see
that's fine for
him.
now hang on. When he gave a press conference late in the season last year, and the question was asked of him, knowing that it was his last year on contract as the Patriots manager, as the Patriots head coach, where he wanted to go, he literally told reporters that he was going after Andy Reid's job in Kansas City because everyone thought that Andy Reid was going to retire at the end of this year, but I guess he's not going anywhere.
No, he never wanted to go to Kansas City. I guess he was just saying that because he just wanted to give an answer. I mean, come on, think about it. If you're a coach of a team and you got guys asking you that question almost every day, eventually you're just going to say something to shut them up.
Right, but who's the next team that Bill Belichick could bring up from the grave?
The Giants. I mean, it has to make sense because
Who did you say he wanted? The Eagles, the Giants, and who?
the Cowboys.
Not Cowboys yet.
Well,
Or Cowboys.
let's see. I don't think Dak Prescott really likes Bill Belichick all that much.
But is it fair to boot Mike McCarthy for Bill Belichick? Is it fair?
I don't
Look,
think
he's
so.
been on the end of that before.
Mike McCarthy hasn't really had a chance to show himself.
I mean, Belichick knows about this. He's been there before. You know, he got booted for Bill Parcells.
And the Eagles, the Eagles have
I want to see the Eagles.
what the hell? My sister is a huge Eagles fan, and she knows everything about the Eagles.
I'm sorry,
my sister is a very large Eagles fan.
and I'm so sorry to hear that.
So the past 2 years, she got to as a birthday celebration because her birthday falls right around the time of the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
So for the past 2 years, for her birthday, her birthday present is watching the Eagles fail. 2 years ago now was when they lost it in Arizona, and last year the Eagles were eliminated by Tampa in the second round,
And that was just that's like one of the biggest collapses in history because they got to a good start.
they were off to a great start, and then they lost 7 of their last 10. The Eagles went from being a powerhouse
To a joke.
to losing 7 of their last 10 games, and then being eliminated in the first game of the playoffs. It was crazy.
Yeah, but I mean,
They completely fell off the map.
they went into Kansas City on Monday night and they beat the champions, the defending champions. Who would have thought that after that big victory, it just went downhill after that? Think about it. They went in there, they played the best game, they beat a good football team who happened to be their opponents 6 weeks later. Actually, I take that back. No, I'll take that back. That was the rematch. They won it, but look, after that victory, they just went downhill. They were losing to teams like Arizona was one of the teams they lost to.
They lost to the Cardinals,
Exactly.
and the Cardinals in recent history have not been the greatest.
Look, you think it's the Cowboys? I mean, I don't think it'd be fair to Mike McCarthy. I say he's the Giants because that's where he came from, That's where he had success from. He won 2 Super Bowls there as a D coordinator.
And the Giants need it.
And the Giants need a rebuilding because they're just a laughing stock. They just didn't do well. They got beat in every way.
Hey, but you know what? You know what team could be looking for a very large comeback next year?
Who?
The Jets.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about the Jets.
Because they're going to have Aaron Rodgers back.
Yep, that's fine.
And if Aaron Rodgers can do anything like what Joe Flacco did, Aaron Rodgers may have himself on the bid for comeback player of the year at the end of the 2024 season.
And they also got New Jersey's unveiling too. They're bringing back the old school Jets logo, the JETS Jets on the side of the helmets.
Ooh, the Jets?
Yeah, from like the 80s.
I like that one. I'm gonna look that one up right now.
A little bit of a sidebar here as we flash. We'll flash over to
80s.
We'll flash over to updates on the last 6 games of the NHL.
Yes, the Ducks.
Five of which are underway right now.
So shit.
The last one starts in a couple minutes here. Anaheim and Vegas are currently scoreless with 8:14 left in the first period.
Dodgers are off today, and they'll take on the Mets tomorrow at the Chavez Ravine at 7:10. Angels lose today to Rays 2-1. And it looks like Diamondbacks, Giants, bottom third, 1-0.
Yep.
That's MLB. I was talking NHL.
Yeah, well, we're going to
Well, hey, we haven't given an update on that, though.
But do these matches count at this point, or is it just the last game of the season?
So the Canucks are currently losing to Winnipeg 4-2, and that game is just about over. Calgary is all over San Jose, currently 5-0 with 4.5 left in the second period.
That's shocking.
Colorado is currently on top of Edmonton 4-1 at the end of the first period, and Seattle beat Minnesota 4-3. The last game officially to get underway of the NHL season this year will be the Chicago Blackhawks and the Los Angeles Kings. Puck drop in just about probably 5 minutes or so.
Yep.
Anyway.
Spectrum.
Spectrum. Good Lord, don't even get me started with Spectrum.
Whoa, what's bad about Spectrum?
Let's go to the...
Okay, I'm just going to say this. Spectrum, sometimes they're okay, but sometimes they suck. Dude, I was watching Championship Weekend for the NFL. Championship Weekend. We turned on the games. The first game was having a little bit of issue broadcast-wise. It was glitching a couple times, but nothing happened. Then we get to San Francisco versus Detroit. 5 minutes after the game starts, our TV goes black. And we can't watch the game.
So you're blaming Spectrum.
It was Spectrum. The NFL didn't have an issue with it. It was Spectrum. Spectrum in Long Beach experienced a complete outage, a complete service outage of their phones, their Wi-Fi, their cable. Everything went out after the San Francisco-Detroit game started. And I had to, luckily I had the Fox Sports app, so I was able to connect our Spectrum account to the Fox Sports app, and I watched the game on my phone. But I would have much rather have watched it on my 70-inch flat screen.
Whoa, 70-inch.
Hey, our family is fancy, okay?
Okay. See?
Hell.
Oh, please. It's a 70-inch TCL Roku.
It must have been just Long Beach because Compton was just fine with Spectrum. They had good Wi-Fi and everything. Matter of fact, we was at Buffalo Wild Wings watching that San Francisco versus Detroit Lions game.
Yo,
It was cool in the beginning, but it sucked in the end.
Yeah, well, you know what? Buffalo Wild Wings, they won't really have any issue, though, because they never do.
They never really do. I mean, I guess the issue is that they really have those with them boy.
Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings is pretty good.
No,
I can say.
Pretty mad, I'll be honest.
Have you had their bird dogs?
Yeah, didn't like it.
No, you don't like it?
Nah, not at all.
Bird dogs.
It's a big ass chicken tender inside of a hot dog bun. It's actually kind of good. Not gonna lie.
Yep, try that.
What is this, Raising Cane's?
Canes doesn't use the hot dog bun, though. Oh? What's up there? What did that just say?
Welcome.
Oh, someone's watching. Hello! Or listening. Hello!
You don't say.
Hello there. Thanks for listening. Okay, back to business. Where were we at?
So we're gonna give the baseball scores real quick. So right now, Diamondbacks are up or losing 1-0, top of the fourth. Rangers beat the Tigers 9-7. Again, as we mentioned earlier, the Angels lost to the Rays 2-1. The Marlins and Cubs postponed. Those makeup date is for this weekend or tomorrow. They'll play a doubleheader on Saturday. And then Guardians beat the Red Sox 5-4.
Yeah, not so much sports today besides hockey and a couple.
And we do have some soccer matchups coming up this weekend, though. You guys watch MLS?
LA Galaxy is taking on the San Jose Earthquakes, right?
No, it looks like on Saturday it'll be actually. Sorry, our system's struggling here. LAFC will play against the Red Bulls at 7:30. Colorado plays Dallas at 6:30. Seattle plays Vancouver at 7:30. Kansas City will take on St. Louis. Houston will play Austin. Chicago will take on Salt Lake. Toronto will take on New England. New York City FC will take on DC United. Miami will play Nashville. Atlanta will play Cincinnati. CF Montreal will take on Orlando. And Columbus will take on Portland. That's the biggest matchups this Saturday.
That's MLS, right?
Yeah, it's MLS.
There are a lot of games going on.
Yeah, weekend's gonna be.
This weekend will be full of events.
Yeah. Full of sports all around, from hockey, golf, baseball, NASCAR.
The Grand Prix.
Well, we'll give a thing here for golf. Last weekend, Scotty Scheffler won his second Masters, his second in 3 years. Wins the Masters, so that was
the highlight of the.
That was pretty cool. In fact, his wife was in active labor while he was still on Augusta National.
So
while he was still playing Augusta National, his wife was in active labor.
That's insane.
That's funny. You guys want to talk about UFL? We got some great matchups this weekend.
Oh, yes, the UFL.
UFL.
The UFL, the merger between USFL and the XFL.
I mean, I think it's been pretty legit this season.
Speaking of the XFL, prior to COVID, when the XFL was starting to come back, you leaving?
So let's talk about the XFL this weekend. So
the UFL.
The UFL. I keep mixing it. So we got some games coming up this weekend. So we got the Memphis Showboats will take on St. Louis Battlehawks.
The Battlehawks.
GC Defender versus Birmingham Stallions. That's on Saturday. Also, we got the Michigan Panthers taking on San Antonio Brahmas. Brahmas. And then Sunday
the Brahma Bowl.
And Sunday it'll be Arlington Renegades against the Houston Roughnecks.
Only 8 teams.
What team is 3-0? The Stallions, right?
Stallions.
Yeah, the Birmingham Stallions.
Birmingham Stallions.
Stallions.
So right now, looking at the conference, there's only one undefeated team, and that's the Birmingham Stallions. That's 3-0. In that USFL conference, Michigan's 2-1, Memphis 1-2, and the Roughnecks are 0-3. So something's got to give there.
Yeah, only on Fox and ESPN Plus.
What do you think, Jesus? What do you think about the UFL so far?
So far, I've been liking it. I've been watching it, but the most takes that I've been seeing is the kickers who've been over 90%.
Yeah, they're like 48-52 this season.
And maybe the NFL should take some notes on a couple kickers out here.
Well, the guy from Michigan, he kicked that 60-yard field goal.
Jesse Bates?
Yeah.
Who's the YouTuber?
Yeah, Destroyer. He broke his.
He broke his leg.
No, his neck.
Oh yeah,
in pieces.
He broke his neck after making a tackle.
A bad tackle, yeah.
So
wow.
Yeah, that's
destroying, I think, right?
Yeah, he was a kicker only.
He was the place kicker, and he kicked the ball, and on the return he tackled the receiver and broke his neck.
What do you guys think about the rules? I mean, some rules that the NFL should consider putting in. I mean, think about it.
You know what? Well, I can already say this. The NFL has already put out a statement that they are actually looking very closely at how the XFL runs some of their games.
Actually,
they are thinking about bringing in the kickoff rule.
That's already in effect. That's already in effect.
That they're now what they're going to do. Starting this year with kickoffs, nobody can move until the receiver has possession of the ball. Once the receiver has first touch of the ball, then the offense and the special teams can then begin to move. So that's going to be
that rule I do not like. We showed it last time.
Yeah, we showed it last time. It's
on
pretty
YouTube.
dumb. It's pretty dumb.
That is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it is.
And our thoughts, we're not sure there's going to be more rushing touchdowns.
Because that to me says that if you're not going to allow the special teams to move until the receiver has possession of the ball, then you're going to see a lot more 50-plus yard returns.
For sure, easily.
Because the receiver is going to have a lot more time to run before anyone even gets near him. So
I'll see the high rate of kick returning touchdowns this year if that rule's in effect.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell.
Anybody want a sure sticker?
Time will tell. We're actually going to be running out of time right now, so who's got some final thoughts about, anything?
Just ready for NBA playoffs, which is around the corner. Don't forget hockey, NHL.
The NBA playoffs are starting on Saturday, and the Stanley Cup starts next week.
We do want to remind you also, stay with Sports Talk. We are going to be covering the NBA playoffs on Saturday. We'll have a special edition, a pregame show for the Lakers game, and then we'll have a postgame show after the Lakers game. If we're able to do that, we'll also cover the Clippers matchup in the NBA playoffs. Plus, next week we're going to be dedicating the episode for the NFL draft. As you know, it is next weekend, and I believe it's in Cleveland.
I'm not really sure where.
Cleveland, Ohio.
The draft?
Yeah,
the NFL draft
this year.
Hey Siri, where's the 2024 NFL draft?
2024 NFL Draft is in Detroit, Michigan, United States.
Detroit.
Thursday, the 25th of April to Saturday, the 27th of April.
So stay tuned to that one.
It's a 2-day event starting next weekend.
Stay with Sports Talk. We'll cover it. We'll cover the Rams and the Chargers.
What's our outro music today?
Well, we're actually running low, so we want to thank all the guests that are here today. And thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.
Shout out Nolan Kirby.